All right, we got Julian over here, Team Bindga or Bust at the YCS Vegas 2025. Tell me about how you did and what decks you played.
I think we all did pretty good. I went 6-2
6-2.
with Gimmick, Puppet, FTK. It was sick. I actually did the best out of my entire team with pure skill and honor with this deck.
Yeah, he was Anchor Virgil, and they let him land on the ground 6 times.
Yeah, they let me land on the ground, and I went super jump dimension / X Factor, and I won the game.
Yeah, don't let him play.
No, so many people were just unprepared for Gimmick puppets, like especially when, because at first we were like it was a little bit of a struggle, but then we rallied back and we started fighting these really strong teams. And it's like what I discussed with my team before. They were just prepared for Malice, they're prepared for Ryzeo, they're prepared for Blue Eyes, all these tough decks. And they're like, all right, we just need one more game to qualify. And then they just step on the horrible landmine, which was Gimmick Puppet FTK. And it was so fun. It was so hilarious seeing people just, react so strongly to it. And I did way better than I thought. I was very excited to do that well. And,
Got a lot of reactions.
I did. I had Malice players just like looking extremely sad. I fought 5 Malice players. It was horrible.
5 Malice, your worst matchup too.
Yeah, worst matchup. I beat most of them. Lost. My only 2 losses were Malice, funny enough, and I beat 3 Malice, lost to 2 Malice, and then it was what was it again? It was
Blue Eyes?
Blue Eyes.
Blue Eyes.
Millennium Exodia.
Millennium Exodia.
The bye.
Yeah, the buy basically.
Millennium Exodia and what was the last one?
Ryzeo.
And Ryzeo.
Ryzeo,
Yeah.
which I won. So yeah, that was a very cool way to come back. A little bit. I was misplaying at first, but I started to really lock it down. I was on so much caffeine, and it really pulled out. And I was just happy to just help my team out because I thought I was gonna do the worst, honestly, and just like lose every game.
No, they weren't ready. All right,
They
let's
weren't.
get into this profile over here.
Our gauntlet was funny. Our gauntlet was so funny because we lost the first two rounds.
Oh yes, that's right. That's important.
And the rest of our round, we won all like 5 rounds straight, and all those 5 rounds we had to crush the YCS topping dreams of every single person we fought.
Yeah.
And then all those people had to feel that like we got out of a YCS because of this fucking Gimmick Puppet FTK.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Not a good feeling. Not a good feeling.
No, you don't want to be there. That's why.
Can't say I wish that was me.
No, I'm glad I was able to facilitate that though. That was fun. But anyways, let's head on to the profile itself. 3 Gimmick Puppet little soldiers. You can't. This is a mandatory 3 of. Cents for cost. No need to send you more. It's fantastic. Great new support. Gimmick Puppet Rogue Doll, depending on what the Discord likes to say. It's fantastic card. Got Ash quite a bit, but it was really good. Helped me out. It was a mandatory 3 of. Not much to say. You try your best to protect this from getting Ash, but thanks to this new card about the show, you're able to even push through it. The MVP, one of the MVPs of this engine was definitely the new Gimmick Puppet Fiendish Knight. I love this card. You reveal a card and you special summon it from the graveyard along with this. It helped you push through things. One of my favorite applications of this was using Thrust with Fiendish Knight. You thrust Fiendish Knight and you take out their hand trap from the graveyard, put it on their side of the field, thrust, and then go for the whatever field spell you want, and then you go for the FTK, which came up a lot. It was amazing.
Pretty strong. New card out of Maze too. Just came out 2 days ago, so a lot of people weren't ready.
Yeah, and like the ratio, like 2, some people might think it's a little questionable. Some people go 1, 2, or 3. No one knows the ratios. I like 2 because I love seeing it in my hand, especially with Thrust. It went hard with Thrust. But either one works, but for me it was 2. We'll revisit it in the future. I mean, you can obviously search it, but it was great for me. Terror Baby. I love Terror Baby.
Broken ass card.
Broken. Oh my god. I FTK'd so many people without Mansion, which just with Terror Baby and Bisque Doll. These 2 cards. This one does not allow people to react to your Gimmick Puppet effects, and this one you can't target your Gimmick Puppet monsters. So if I was able to send both of these to the graveyard, which I commonly did, very few things were able to deal with me, and it was wonderful.
They're trapped in the straitjacket, They can't do anything.
They can't, and that's what happened to a Ryzeo player. I didn't even have Mansion, and he was a really strong player. He was really good, but Condolence Puppet, which is a card you'll see soon, where I was able to send 3 things, and I sent this and this doll, and I just did whatever I wanted. It was great. Dreary Doll. This is a card that I actually cut for a while, but I brought back for this event, and I'm glad I did. I hate drawing it, obviously. It's a brick, but it is an extender. It can help you push for that last level 8 you need to FTK them. Yeah, I'm never going to take it out. Sometimes I set it out, but not much else to say. Nice level 8. It's a brick, but you know what? It can get you to win. It definitely did for me. Scissor Arms. This is a quasi starter. I like Scissor Arms a lot. If I had a normal summon, I obviously was gonna do Little Soldiers instead. I like Little Soldiers more impactful as a normal summon. But if it was only Scissor Arms, you can still do some stuff. Scissor Arms was great to put Fiendish Knights into the graveyard as well with certain FTK lines. So it's a great card. You have to run it. It's with Fiendish Knight, you must run it. Cattle Scream, great extender. Not much to say. Is just another level 8. It's great. I love Rank Up Magic Argent Force. Again, standard, fantastic. Allows you to go into level 9s. Not much else to say. It's a great card.
Yeah, and every Gimmick Poker player has this in their hand.
Yeah, yes, that is a good point. Thank you. There's many times we keep the search with Machine X, and my God, when they Imper Machine X or they Ash Machine X, and then you still have it, and then you just win with it, and they look so sad. There are so many people that are just sad when it was.
Every time I Emperor Machine X, I'm just like, he has the Argent Force in hand, doesn't he? You still have to do it. You have no choice, but it's just like, I know he has it already. Like, Argent Force? Like, oh my God.
I win. And that happened, and it happened, it felt incredible. Condelon's Puppet, this was a fantastic card, especially against Ryzeal. Because what it does, it sends to the graveyard. But depending on how many extra deck monsters, you can send that +1. So if they had Dweller and Detonator, you'd send 3. And that was what helped me FTK the Ryzeal player after I Forbidden Dropped with him. I went Condolence Puppet, no response, sent Bisdoll, sent Terror Baby, and just did whatever the hell I wanted. It was wonderful.
All the advantage out of it.
So much advantage. And I sent another extender too, just because I could. I was like, yeah, why not? I don't know. more pushing power. It is. God, when you're able to do that, you feel like it's like Branded Fusion. You feel like you have Branded Fusion when you have like a 3 Condolence Puppet. It feels like Branded Fusion. It's like it's over for you. Unless you stop this, it's over for you. And of course, the star of the show, my MVP, my beloved, can't go home without it. Mansion of the Dreadful Dolls.
Boo. Boo.
Haters. Mansion was
Custom ass support card.
1 card FTK.
1 card FTK.
Gotta hate to see it.
Everyone despises it until you're in my team, then they love it.
It's true.
And they still despise it.
Can't deny that.
Mansion was wonderful.
I always perk up whenever I was playing and I hear it to my right, Mansion. Oh, okay, he got it.
He won. I can see you smiling from my peripheral vision. I'm not trying to smile either when that happened. That was funny. Yes. But yeah, Mansion was wonderful.
Best card in the deck.
Easily. 1 card FTK. What else to say? Like you play that card if you bait negates, which I was able to do thankfully for most of my games. Bait events and on Mansion, or at least go on Mansion and still have some pushing power. You just win. You Mansion. You maybe Forbidden Drop with him, or you're able to get Bisdoll and Terror Baby, something of that nature. You get Mansion out. They have no response. You win. And the one thing I like to do is that sometimes if I have the right cards, I just won't even search for Little Soldiers or Rogue Doll from its effect, because Droll was heavy in the format, and I think that saved my bacon.
Droll was everywhere.
Yeah, Droll was everywhere. So I only searched if I really needed to, and I needed to go for the 1 card FTK. If I had Rogue Doll or Little Soldiers, I just wouldn't get it because I just don't want to risk it. It's not worth it.
Yeah. Also, no one knows how to play into that card. Like,
no.
Like, how many people like hand trapped you and you're like, okay, nothing happens.
Someone's like, it was great. It happened like at least 2-3 times. Not as much as I thought, but it definitely still happened where I went, I'm like, Machine X effect. And they're like, Ash? I'm like, sorry. Or my favorite one was definitely Nib. Nib resolves. Okay, tribute everything. Doesn't work. But the Nib resolves.
Yeah, just your monsters, not mine.
Oh, and then I FTK them even easier because they have a 3K monster there. I don't even have to try anymore. It's great. But yeah, fantastic card. I love Mansion. I wish I could run 20 of them. But you know what? That's okay. Mansion's wonderful.
Yeah, but what about the Foolish Goods package?
You know what? This is the interesting part. I do not run the Foolish Goods package. This might be sacrilege to my fellow Gimmick Puppet brothers and sisters, but I do not run it. I actually do not like that package at all. I think it's very bricky. I think it makes hands really awful. I do understand the idea that having more mansion is just so powerful, and it is. I will not debate that. It's fantastic. But, as not only the reasons above, I think it's just really not great in this format because there's Ryzo everywhere. And if you're going blind second, this is going first deck, but if you lose a die roll and you're fighting against Ryzo and they just Abyss Dweller, that whole engine's just dead. The whole engine's gone. Like it's just worthless cards. Like if you do Abyss Dweller, well you can't. Well now you can't. Foolish Barrel Goods. It's active. The Fed is negated. So I really didn't like it. Overly bricky, takes so much spots. I value non-engine space a lot. I value that a lot, and I feel like it worked for me really well because I still was able to draw mansion. I still was able to get a lot, and the non-engine cards I was able to pull won me most of my games.
Yeah, you win most of the times going first anyway, and it's kind of better to have some more interaction.
Yeah, like I FTK'd a lot without mansion. Like I actually FTK'd quite a decent amount without mansion, or almost FTK'd, like the semi FTK. And having the non-engine saved my bacon so many times, where Foolish Barrel Goods just would not have done that. Even with Black Goat that lapse, it would not have been enough. So with that, instead, I run Terraforming, of course. Not instead, but set rotation, absolutely broken. Many times I run set rotation, and my opponent would just grumble. Yeah, sorry, your imperm is now worthless. And set rotation, great card, love it, absolutely broken. You need it. And Service Puppet Play, the last Gimmick Puppet card I'm running. This is a great card. I used to side out, but I actually don't anymore, even going second, because having that next desk card material is so important. I've lost games where I had M-Seti and I needed one more push, and I just didn't have the material I needed to get that one more push I would have had after searching from Chaos Machinix. And it's just great when you don't know if you're going to be able to FTK them and you need something to stop them. But depending on the matchup, I'll side it out. But I did love it. And of course, as I was talking about before, M-Seti. Can't go wrong with M-Seti. Great card. I was always so back and forth on this engine, but I love it.
Truly the glue.
It was the glue. Like, I have a brick I need to get rid of. It was a great first starter to do. Try to bait whatever hand traps, what people did for some reason. It was great. So many people misplayed into me. I loved it. And, just a glue that runs this deck together. You need to run 3. I understand some people like to run pure, but honestly, the best way to play it, you need 3 with the Horus engine. And of course, Happy. Need to run the Happy. King Sark, and the Walls of Imperial Tomb for the set rotation. Honestly, this card came into clutch sometimes when I wanted to have some pushing power, start with something, didn't have much of a good hand, start with Walls, get M-Seti, and hey, maybe that draw is great.
So Walls actually did some useful for its actual effect.
It actually did. It helped me get into M-Seti, hey, it was a good thing to start. Usually I don't want to start with it because I don't want to get drolled, but sometimes I had to, and it worked out fantastically. So you know what, hey, I'm going to keep it. And of course, oh man, this was a true MVP. I keep saying that, but this is MVP.
Non-engine now.
Yes, the non-engine. Excuse me. Malcharmy Wallows. Love this card. Format defining card. I cannot understand. I cannot fathom how many times where I was going second, I Wallows, the effect resolved, and I drew what I needed to win. Whether it was my non-engine extenders from Gimmick Puppets like Fiendish Knights or what have you. And it just got, or searching or getting mansioned. Fualos was the best. For this format, you absolutely need it. It's absolutely mandatory. And, they're going to reprint it soon, which is great. But yeah, Fualos, fantastic card. Very glad I got it for this event. I would have been dead multiple times over without it. Forbidden Droplet, very, very clutch. Help me oh man, drawing this card from Fualos, for example, has helped me win so many games, which is why like I said, I'm glad I got rid of the Forbidden Goods package. Just having more non-engine space helped me so much, and then just getting these pieces I needed to break boards. Because I lost a lot of die rolls. I think I was around 5-5, which is not bad. Like maybe one more die roll than I lost. But there were so many times when I was going second. People played a Fualos challenge for whatever reason, and I was able to get the triple tactic stress, the talents and all these other cards, and it just came up so well. It's great, especially against Ryzo. Like this, you need this or you can't win. Triple Tactics Thrust. Great card. Mandatory 3-up will never be sided out. Goes crazy with Fiendish Knight, as I've explained before. Going second, it's wonderful. You can search for Mansion. You can search for your for Talent's Thrust or other side deck cards. Always great, always wonderful. Honestly, you couldn't even argue it's one of the best cards in the deck, if not one of the best, if it wasn't for Mansion. You absolutely need it. So many ways I was able to push through people's boards with typical tactics Thrust going second. Absolutely love it.
Forcing a mandatory effect is pretty unique for Gimmick Puppet too.
Yes, that's actually something. Thank you. I forgot to mention, like going to the FTK lines or what have you, putting dark strings on their side of the board, which has a mandatory effect. So now Thrust is live was massive. So being able to do that, have that Gimmick Puppet with dark strings, mandatory effect, and then you thrust and then you murder them, came up a lot.
It's kind of like Gen and Ken with the thrust. Just
It is.
turns on your thrust for you.
It is, and it worked. It was so funny. Their reactions like, "Wait, you can thrust me here?" I'm like, "Yes, it's a mandatory effect. You don't get the draw, by the way. Sad, but I do." And then of course, Talents. Talents was great. It came up. It's like what my teammate said earlier before. I definitely liked it going first, way more than going second. I don't think it does enough going second. Hilarious enough, but going first is fantastic. I had it against a Blue Eyes player where he ashed Rogue Doll, and I still had the M steady to push through, but I was like, I'm gonna make sure he can't kill me. Talents, rip, look into his hand, sees he has a Vec Veiler, get that out of here, and then he died. and then I FTK'd, I was like, goodbye. And Talents is great. And calls Call by the Grave, you need it. I very rarely side it out. Depends on the deck. If it was Malice, I didn't side it out, but Called by the Grave, you need it.
Card's broken.
It's very good. There's nothing to say. You need Rogue Doll you need Rogue Doll to go off or what have you. Great card. You need it. So, all right, that's it for the main deck. Let's go to the extra deck. Let's get this out of here. Nice and organized. No longer. Okay. Extra deck. This is when things get a little more interesting. Okay, we have 2 Machinics. Standard. Searches for the rank up magic. Very good. Get an extra normal summon. My favorite card in the deck too, just aesthetically too.
Breathe life back in the deck. Yeah, look at that mask. Look at this.
It's so
Look at this
cool.
other guy over here.
It's the Quattro.
Kind of looks like him actually.
It is. Look, that's why. Look, blue blonde from Trails. Look at that. I love Trails. Go play Trails. Blanc's the best. Anyways, we have 3. This one's a little bit of a weird choice for me, but I kind of liked it. Didn't really come up. 3 Chaos Machinics, CXYZ Machinics. Most people run 2. I just ran 3 because I have so much space in this deck now. Now I'm not running Ultimate Slayer anymore. It's really, it's great. There's a lot of lines that don't use Mansion use 2. So it's kind of nice to have the third one on the clapback if you don't FTK them. But the third one definitely did not come up once yesterday. But for now, I'm going to keep it until I find something better to put. Like this, you have 1 or 2 flex spots. Giant Grinder, or Giant Killer in OCG. This came up incredibly well. You play against Rise, you Forbidden Drop them. That is honestly almost FTK right then and there. You stop them, they can't do anything. You just go level 8, Giant Killer, Giant Grinder, eat them, and they're almost dead. You just swing at them and they die. That happened. My opponent's like, oh, I'm in trouble. And boy.
Yeah, they're in trouble, all right.
Boy, was he. It's like, I sometimes overthink on the FTK, honestly. When I have against our rides, when I Forbidden Drop, I'm like, oh man, how do I kill you harder? And I have the choice paralysis when all I have to do is really just go Giant Killer, die, and swing at them, overlay, and then do it again. Serial Killer or a Giant Hunter. So Gimmick a Giant Hunter, not once per turn, just like Giant Killer, which is this is why this card's amazing. This is the level 9. You rank this to FTK people. Usually it's the last thing I do. I had somebody do 3 Solemns against me.
3 Solemns?
3 Solemns against me. He went first. He knew what I was running. He had 3 Solemns. He solemned 3 things he needed to solemn. And like I said, thanks to Phoenix Knight, thanks to all this new pushing power we have in this deck, I was able to play through it. And all I had to do was go level 8, overlay. He had no more interaction with me. Find the rank up magic, and all I did was go the rest of his board. His playing Mana Diem. I couldn't interact with it. And all I had to do was just go level 8. He had a Bestial, because a Bestial would be 2. And I just went rank up Serial Killer, burn. And he lost. He only had 2,000 life.
I mean, after the judgments, yeah.
Yeah.
Judgment, you're at 2K, right in burn range.
Yeah, that's really good. Fantastic card. I always run 2 because, on the clapback, it's It's really good card. I feel like 2 is definitely the right amount. And yeah. Other stars of the show: Gimmick Puppet of Strings and Gimmick Puppet of Dark Strings. These cards are great. These are the FTK stars. You need these guys to happen to murder people. Wonderful.
Yeah, they had to tone these cards down.
Yeah, I used to be at 3. Sad.
Yeah.
I didn't play at that time too, which is funny.
No, you didn't.
I definitely missed a train on that one, which makes me a little sad. But that's okay. Maybe I still love this deck. I'm playing this deck because Quattro is sick. But yeah, these are the FTK enablers. Multiple ways that use them. A lot new lines that use them too now with Fiendish Knight, which is great. You can resurrect it, makes them feel string counters on people. Do it again, blow them up. And it was great. Yeah, it's just a mandatory card. You have to run it to FTK them. Pray you don't get it pulled out. And then the last Gimmick Puppet XYZ is Gigantus Doll. Gigantus Doll actually came up a decent amount of times, especially with Fiendish Knight. That is something I mentioned a lot. Fiendish Knight is 2 level 4s. You take their monster. You can sack this card's effect. They become level 8s, and then you can extend more. Go into Giant Killer, go into Machine X. So it was really good to bait. Especially bait interaction was this card, because I'll do that against Malice, for example, and I'll do Gigantus Doll, and they went, oh god, immediately banish this card, get rid of it, and then I didn't normal summon, I didn't use Mansion yet, oh, here comes Mansion, and then I'd win. So it was a great card to bait negations, bait interactions, fantastic. Also good for revealing for the Rogue Doll effect too, but which you have to do. So yeah, great card. And this card never came up once, and I really thought it was, and it didn't. I'm still gonna run it because why not? Is number 68 Sandalphon, the Sky Prison. I really thought I was gonna get trolled a lot more when I went into M-SETI. So I can at least run this card. So this card can't be destroyed by card effects, and also neither player can special summon monster from the graveyard. So at least try to survive. Maybe put some cards down into Sandalphon, but it didn't come up. I didn't really get trolled that much, so never mind. And then the 2 is the 2 only links to this is Chimera Doll. Great extension piece, fantastic. Gets the job done. You need this to FTK. You need this to push. Either send to the graveyard or put your hand and you special summon from your hand. Good card. It's just really good. Not much to say about that. It's a combo line, and that's the extra deck. God, man, I just think about how many times Machine X just showed up to kill people, which is so funny. just resurrecting. That's one thing I forgot to mention. Is resurrecting their own, our own cards with Machine X and just burning it again is so funny. It looks like I want your detonator again, because that's an effect from Cattle Scream. Something I didn't mention. Cattle Scream, if it's attached to a card to one of your XYZ, you can actually take their card from the graveyard and then burn it again, which I did against a Ryzeo player. He's like, oh, dang it. Now onto the side deck. You need this.
Yep.
Not much else to say. The Malice is everywhere. I fought 5 Malice. It was horrible. That matchup is trash, and I still beat a majority of them. I just got lucky. But, you need that. You need Sanctum, same thing. Malice, horrible.
Thrust target as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, and the thrust target, which didn't come up sadly, but that's okay.
Sure did for me.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you at all. And XYZ Encore, definitely have to run this for Ryzeo. I only played one Ryzeo player, so I didn't get to see it, even though I did sight in, but you need this card. It's not as effective as Forbidden Droplet, for myself at least, but it's still a fantastic card. You need as much anti-Dweller hate as possible, because if Dweller goes off and you're playing Gimmick Puppets, you're probably dead.
It's basically FTK versus you. You can't really play through it.
No, there's some lines that you can do. I mean, if you have M-SETI, you can do some M-SETI stuff, but
it's not enough.
It's not enough. No, there's on the crap back, they're gonna kill you. But yeah, you need the XYZ on card for them. Even though they come up for me, it's Dweller's horrible. Please get rid of Dweller. I hate that card. Droll and Lockbird, honestly put a lot of work for me. Droll was great. I had a great. I used Droll against Blue Eyes mostly. Didn't sight in too much, but it was definitely my Blue Eyes hate. Great card.
Good against Ryzeo too.
True. I did sight against Ryzeo. Did not see it, but I definitely sight against him too. And this was definitely thanks to my team captain Jonah here. Fantastic decision. I used to play what was it called? Chaos Hunter. Chaos Hunter. And last minute, just removed it. I was like, I don't think it does enough. It gets blown up easily, and I'll die. These were definitely much better choice. Lightning Storm.
Board breakers.
Yes. I use this against a Malice player. I was like, Jonah, what do I side against these bastards? What do I do? And he's like, you put the Lightning Storm. And I was able to win. I was able to beat the Mavs player, and he put his head down and said, "I'm like, I don't blame you, man." That was probably my most clutch moment. Honestly, was blindsiding in the Feather Duster in the Lightning Storm against Malice. I didn't know they were playing Malice because I just FTK'd them.
Yep.
I just managed to FTK them. They didn't have interaction. Went goodbye, and so I didn't know what their deck played. So I just went, I don't know what they're playing. I'm just gonna side one of these two. And
at least decent against everything.
Yeah, and then I full Wallace them, and they took the challenge. I got Feather Duster, and then I Feather Duster. They did the White Binder effect and all that stuff. Thrusted for the Lightning Storm them right afterwards, and I was able to win. I FTK them, and it was great. Yeah, this is definitely staying in. Back row hay is, I think, very good right now. And the second talents. Second talents is great. Didn't really come up too much because I forgot to use it.
You forgot it was there.
Yeah, I kind of forgot it was there because it was also my last minute, my very last minute inclusion was the second talent. I should have got it. I really should have put it going first, but I kind of just forgot.
Would have you changed it to something else after this tournament, or?
Probably not, because
Okay.
like I really need pushing power going first. People are going to be siding in lots of Ash, lots of hand traps. So I need to look at their hand and rip out the second hand trap they probably have, the nib. Because I'm not going to get mansion every single time. I'm not going to have thrust every single time. So I feel like having that extra protection is just too important. And the last card in my side deck is D-Barrier. D-Barrier is so good. D-Barrier is just incredible. Like I hard drew it twice, and I won both games I hard drew it.
I'm glad no one D-barriered me.
The most devastating. Yeah, I don't blame you. I was in D-Barrier too, so I'm not great.
Your card's a bit on the decline
Kind of.
compared to the first time, but it's still a broken card, and if you run Thrust, you might as well run it. There's like no reason not to be honest.
Yeah.
And it came up a lot, even though you did. I don't think you ever thrusted for this. You just
No.
hard drew it.
No, I didn't thrust it for it once. It just came to my hand magically, and it saved my bacon. Like, it saved my bacon, let me tell you. Like, doing it against the Blue Eyes player, and I went like a dimensional bear, and I drolled him. I was like, goodbye. That was great. Using against other matches was great. I used it against Raizo, I believe. I don't even remember. No, I actually just 2-0'd him. I'm sorry, I lied. But I used it against somebody, other decks. Yeah, Dimensional Barrier was great. It'll probably stay there until otherwise. But yeah, that's my side deck. And my last thing, of course, can't forget Quattro Token. You can't forget Quattro Token. That's the
Real
GOAT.
MVP.
Real MVP. This is the GOAT right here. This is the reason why I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh again. Jonah's like, Quattro's sick. You can play his deck now. I'm like, oh, excuse you? And then I started playing it. And now I'm FTKing people.
Shoutouts to Quattro.
Yeah, shoutouts to Quattro. But yeah, that's my deck list so far.
Yeah, is there anything you would change going forward?
Honestly, I'm really, really happy with this list. One thing I want to explore is the Fiendish Knight ratios. I want to see the Fiendish Knight ratios. I want to see what people in the Discord are cooking, people in the other Gimmick public players are cooking, because I still want to know what's most optimal ratio for that. I still think I'm not gonna run Foolish Barrel Goods until Dweller is gone. I don't think Foolish Barrel Goods is worth using, at least for myself. Understandable if other people want to use it, but for me, Abyss Dweller is just too prevalent. It's everywhere, and I don't want to deal with that and have 6 cards be worthless. So I think I'm gonna stick with no Foolish Barrel Goods until Dweller comes back. If Dweller's gone, if Dweller's gone, then I think that's a different conversation. Then yeah, I think it's fantastic. But right now, I think I'm gonna stick with this. I like my deck list. Even not having less chances at Mansion didn't really come up as much as you think it would, and just having more pushing power and more non-engine, I think, was just really important for me. People are running so much interaction, and having that is great. So yeah, that's it. It was fantastic. Very glad I did well. Went 6-2 and ruining people's dreams with Gimmick Puppet was fun. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shouts to my teammates, by the way. They're awesome. I'm glad they had me, and hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah, thanks for the pro.